Hello all, welcome back to our channel Stats Cosmos. In my last video on central tendency, we have covered by the basics of central tendency like definition, why it is required, measures of central tendency. In that we have covered arithmetic mean calculation in case of individual, discrete and continuous series. Now in this video, we are going to cover geometric mean, harmonic mean, median and mode. First let's begin with geometric mean. Geometric mean is a kind of average of a set of numbers that is different from the arithmetic average. Geometric mean is well defined only for sets of positive real numbers. This is calculated generally by multiplying all the numbers given in the data and taking the nth root of that product if suppose n observations are given in the data. Here are the formulas to calculate geometric mean for ungrouped data and grouped data. We can observe there are two forms here. One is in terms of roots and other one is in terms of logarithms. Let me show you how the second formula came. It is very simple. For the general formula, first we are supposed to apply logarithm on both sides. And we are going to use two more formulas here. One is log x power n can be written as n into log x. That power we can bring front. This power 1 by n we brought front here. In the next step you can observe it. And one more formula is log ab can be written as log a plus b. By using the same similar formula, here we can convert this log of this product of the observations into sums of the logarithm of the observations, that is log x1 plus log x2 plus and so on plus log xn. And here we need is only the geometric mean, so let us send this log also to the other side, which converts to anti-logarithm. So this is how we got logarithm values, and this is very helpful to make the calculations easier. I want to give one example for each series of data, that is for individual series, discrete series and continuous series. Let's begin with individual series. Here is the data given to you, and first of all what we have to do is we have to find out the logarithm for the every observation given in the data, that is for log 1, log 7, log 29, log 92, log 115 and log 375. First of all we are supposed to find out logarithm for the given observations and then do the total of the logarithm values. And then here is the formula to calculate geometric mean, that is anti-log of summation log x by n. Substitute the total here and divide it with the number of observations given. Here there are 6 observations given. We need to find out the anti-logarithm of this ratio, that is 8.9060 by 6. Now let me tell you how to find out the logarithms by using simple calculator and how to find out anti-logarithm. Logarithm is very easy. You can see their LOG function or LN function. But here most of the students they have doubt in finding out the anti-logarithm. So I thought of explaining both the things here. First let me begin with the logarithm values. Here there are two functions as I told you, ln which consists of base e and log base 10. Here I have used log function for finding out the logarithm value. So log 7 I got it as 0.845098 something. So you can use either ln function or log function. Here I used log function for finding out the logarithm values. And let me show you how to find out the anti-logarithm then. See, here are the functions again, two functions, e power x is there, 10 power x is there. Before I used log function base 10 for finding out the logarithms. So for finding out the anti-logarithm I am going to use this 10 power x function. If you used ln function for finding out the logarithms, you have to use e power x for finding out the anti-logarithm. Just keep this in your mind. Now 10 power x. In this calculator, how to calculate the anti-logarithm is 10 to the power, open the bracket, just click on this function and then if suppose you wanted to find out for an observation, directly you can give that observation and simply close the bracket. If you press on equal to, then automatically you will get the answer. Now if you want to find out anti-logarithm for a ratio as I did here, then you can use this function. First click on that function, open the bracket, give the ratio for which you wanted to find out the anti-logarithm and close the bracket. Press on equal to, which gives you the final answer. Here you can observe 30.50 is the answer. Before example, let me show you once again. We got the same answer here. Just to make you understood, I took the same values. I hope you all understood now how to find out the geometric mean by using logarithm formula here. Let me show you now how to find out the geometric mean in case of discrete series. As we all know, discrete series means observations and frequencies will be given to you. First of all, you are supposed to find out the logarithm for the observations and then find out the product of frequencies multiplied with the logarithm of the values. That is f log x. As you can see in the table, when you multiply the second column values with third column values, you will get the last column, which is f log x. Do the total of that, and frequencies total also you are supposed to do. And here is the formula for finding out the geometric mean, which is anti-log of summation f log x by summation f. Summation f log x total we got here as 160.7736 and the total of frequencies is 137. Just to substitute here, and as I said before, apply the logarithm function and anti-logarithm function for finding out this values. Here we got the answer as 14.91. You can calculate this, you can try this and you can compare your answers here. Now let's see how to calculate geometric mean in case of continuous series. Continuous series means we already know that class intervals and frequencies will be given to you. And here, as you all can see, first we are supposed to find out the mid values for the given classes or class intervals. How to find out the mid values? It is very simple. Add the lower limit and upper limit of that class and divide it with 2. Take the first class, for example, 5 is the lower limit, 15 is the upper limit. Add both. 5 plus 15 it is 20. 20 divided with 2, which gives you the mid value of that particular class, which is 10. Similarly, you can do this for the second class also, that 15 plus 25, which is 40, divided with 2, we will get 20 here. This is how, first of all, we are supposed to find out the mid values of the classes, and then logarithm of the mid values, log of mid values. After that, here in this table, you are supposed to multiply the second column with fourth column to get f log x values. After getting f log x values, do the total of that column and also find out the total of frequencies. Here we got total of frequencies as 85 and f log x total as 121.1837. And we have the formula for calculating geometric mean is anti-log of summation f log x by summation f. Just to substitute the values you got in this formula and find out the anti-logarithm by using the calculator, and we'll get finally 26.65. So these are the methods to find out the geometric mean for different series of data given to you. Now let us see the next topic, which is weighted geometric mean. If various observations are not of equal importance in the data, then we need to calculate the geometric mean. And here is the formula given for that: anti-log of summation, weights multiplied to the logarithm of the values, divide with the total of weights. Weighted geometric mean of observations always equal to the anti-logarithm of weighted arithmetic mean of their logarithms. I hope you understood this. This is very similar to the discrete series formula. Only the difference is here we are considering the weights and there we consider the frequencies. That's it. Now let me show one example. Here I took a very simple example. X values are given and its corresponding weights. First of all, we are supposed to find out the logarithm for the values given, variable values. That is, for X you have to find out the logarithm log X and then multiply it with weights W log X. Find out the total for both. That is for W log X column as well as weights column. And then what is the formula here? Weighted geometric mean is equal to anti-log of summation weights multiplied to the logarithm values of variable and divided with the total of weights. So here we got W log X, that is weights multiplied with the logarithm of the variable values, total as 27.1554 and weights total as 25. Just substitute in the formula and try to find out the anti-logarithm. Here you can observe one thing, that the difference between the simple geometric mean and weighted geometric mean. Simple geometric mean is 12.20 and weighted geometric mean it is 12.20 and simple geometric mean it is 42.63. You can observe that here. I hope you all understood now how to calculate the weighted geometric mean for the given data. Now let's move to combined geometric mean. If I suppose there are k groups and the geometric means of the k groups and the corresponding observations are given to you, in such cases we need to find out a combined mean here. How to calculate that is, here is the formula, anti-log of n1 log g1 plus n2 log g2 plus and so on plus nk log gk if suppose k groups are given. Divide it with n1 plus n2 plus and so on plus nk. That is how many observations in each group. The total we are supposed to find out. And the ratio of this you have to find and apply anti-logarithm to that value, which gives you the combined geometric mean. So let me show you a simple example for understanding this. Here I took an example in which there are only two groups. So they are consisting of 10 and 25 observations correspondingly, and then 90.4 and 125.5 are the geometric means of the two groups respectively. Here we need to find out a combined geometric mean for the data. And here is the formula. When there are k groups, general formula I have given. This is the formula for two groups, that is n1 log g1 plus n2 log g2 by n1 plus n2. For suppose three groups are there, then n1 log g1 plus n2 log g2 plus n3 log g3 by n1 plus n2 plus n3. Okay, so here all the values are there, just substitute. I told you before how to find out logarithm values. By using that method, find out logarithm values and substitute here. Simple calculations will give you the answer here. And here they got the answer as 114.27. You also just try it and compare your answer here. So this is about the calculation of geometric mean. Now let's see what is harmonic mean. Harmonic mean is a type of numerical average. It is calculated by dividing the number of observations by the reciprocal of each number in the series. Harmonic mean is the reciprocal of the arithmetic mean of the reciprocals. Here are the formulas given for ungrouped data and grouped data. In case of ungrouped data, number of observations divide with the sum of the reciprocals of the given data. And for grouped data, we are supposed to find out the total of frequencies and divide it with sum of the ratio of frequencies to the observations given in the data. So let me give you examples for this. First example is on individual series. We have to find out the reciprocals of each observations first, that is 1 by 15, 1 by 18, 1 by 23, 1 by 25 and 1 by 30, and then do the total of that, that is your denominator. And the numerator is number of observations given. Here 5 observations are given, just simply substitute there and try to get the answer. So this is the method to find out the harmonic mean in case of individual series. Very simple. First of all, find out the reciprocals of the given data and then do the total of that. That will be your denominator, and numerator is the number of observations. That's it. Now let us see one example for discrete series. Here is the discrete data given to you. Just as before, first of all, find out the ratio of frequencies to the observations here. Before we found directly reciprocals to the given observations. Here we have to find out the ratio of frequencies to the given observations. That is f by x you are supposed to find and then do the total of that. Frequencies total also you have to do. And here in this example, frequencies total is 38 and whatever the ratios we found that f by x, for that column also we have to do the total, and here they got it as 3.1815. Try to do this, and frequencies total is your numerator and f by x column total is your denominator here. And what is the formula for harmonic mean in case of grouped data? Summation f by summation f by x. Now let us see how to calculate the harmonic mean in case of continuous series. For continuous series, first step will be all the time finding out the mid values. Generally, so here also we are going to find out the mid values here. First class is 0 plus 10 by 2, which is 5. For the second class, 10 plus 20 by 2, which is 15, and so on. In this way, first of all, find out the mid values, and now find the ratio of frequencies to the mid values. That is f by x column we have to find out, and do the total for f by x column and frequencies column. Here we got the frequencies total as 150 and f by x column total as 4.4751. And the same formula here will apply, which is harmonic mean is equal to summation f by summation f by x. Summation f is 150, which is your numerator, and summation f by x is 4.4751, which is your denominator. Just do this ratio and you can get the answer for harmonic mean. So this is how to calculate the harmonic mean in case of individual series, discrete series and continuous series. I hope we all understood. Now let's see how to calculate weighted harmonic mean. If x1, x2 and so on xn are n observations with weights w1, w2 and so on wn respectively, then we can calculate weighted harmonic mean by using this formula, which is summation wi by summation wi by xi. That is ratios we have to find first of all, weights to the given observations, and do the total of that ratios, which is your denominator, and find the total of weights, which is your numerator. Substituting in the formula will gives you weighted harmonic mean. Let me give one small example for understanding this. A train travels 50 kilometers, that is first 50 kilometers at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour. Next 60 kilometers at a speed of 50 kilometers per hour. And next 40 kilometers at a speed of 60 kilometers per hour. We have to calculate the weighted harmonic mean for this of the speed of a train, taking distances travelled as weights here. That is, weights are 50, 60 and 40 respectively. And the observations are speeds here, that is velocities v1, v2, v3 we can consider, where 40, 50 and 60 are the velocities of third weights respectively. And here we are going to substitute all that values into the formula. First of all, find out the total of weights, that is 50 plus 60 plus 40, which is 150. And then find out the ratios of weights to the corresponding velocities. That is 50 divided with 40, 60 divided with 50, 40 divided with 60. And then do the total of these ratios, which is your denominator. Just substitute into the formula. We'll get the answer as 48.13 kilometers per hour. I hope you understood. You just try this and compare your answers here. Next we have combined harmonic mean. If suppose k groups related observations and corresponding harmonic means are given, then here is a formula to calculate combined harmonic mean, which is find out the total of the observations in each group and then divide it with the ratios of the observations to the harmonic means and do the total of that. Let me give one small example for understanding this. Here is an example in which we can see two groups are there with 15 and 13 observations respectively, and their harmonic means are 75 and 65. Before I give formula where there are some k groups. Here only two groups are there. Just add the number of observations in each group, that is 15 plus 13, which gives you the numerator. And for calculating the denominator, first of all find out the ratio of the observations in each group to the corresponding harmonic means, which is 15 by 75 first group and 13 by 65. Find out the total of these two ratios, that is 15 by 75 plus 13 by 65. Find out LCM and solve it a little bit. Here after solving this, we'll get the denominator as 0.4 and then 28 by 0.4 will gives you the final answer, which is 70. This is how to calculate the combined harmonic mean. Next, let us see what is median. Median is the middle number in a sorted ascending or descending list of numbers and can be more descriptive of the data set than the average. Here are the formulas for median in case of individual series, discrete series and continuous series. First, in individual series, if there are odd number of observations given in the data, then n plus 1 by 2th observation is the formula to find out median. And if even number of observations are given, then n by 2th observation plus n by 2 plus 1th observation divided with 2. Let me give an example, small example for understanding this. Here is an example. First I took odd number of observations, that is 1, 2, 4, 5, 5, 6 and 8. Here, according to the formula n plus 1 by 2, we have to find out first. N is 7. 7 plus 1 by 2, 8 by 2, which is 4. What is fourth observation here? 5. So 5 is the median, simply. If even number of observations are there, two middle values will be there, right? So here, two middle values average we have to consider, which is 4 plus 5 by 2. And the final answer is 4.5. Next we have discrete series. In discrete series, we have to find out size of capital N plus 1 by 2th item. That is, capital N is total of frequencies. First, we have to arrange the data in ascending or descending order, and then we need to calculate the cumulative frequencies. Before we apply this formula, we have to find out the cumulative frequencies. Let me show you an example for understanding this. How to find out the cumulative frequencies is, first of all, take the same first frequency value as it is into the cumulative frequencies. And then to get the second cumulative frequencies, you have to add the first two values in frequencies, that is 4 plus 7. Next, for getting the third cumulative frequency value, add the first three values, that is 4 plus 7 plus 21. Next, to get the fourth cumulative frequency value, you have to add the first four values in frequency. Proceeding in the similar way, we can find out the remaining cumulative frequencies values. Next, here one thing what we can observe is the last value of cumulative frequency is equal to the total of frequencies. We have to find out here first capital N plus 1 by 2 value. capital N is 106 according to this problem. 106 plus 1 by 2 will give you 53.5. This 53.5 you are supposed to compare in the cumulative frequency column. Just greater than value you have to see. Here the just greater than value for 53.5 in this column is 66 and the corresponding x value is 40, which is your final median. And here is a special case. Here we got n plus 1 by 2 as 50.5. 50.5 just greater than we can find out. But here we can do this 50.5th term as 50th term plus 51st term. That is 50 corresponding x value as well as 51st means just greater than 51, 68. And the corresponding value is 16. So 12 plus 16 by 2 we have to find out, which gives you finally 14. This is a special case of finding out the median value. Next, continuous series. Here is the formula to calculate median in case of continuous series, which is L plus n by 2 minus Cf by f into h. Here most of the students what they do is this L plus they'll add to the numerator directly, that is for n by 2 minus Cf. But don't do that. First of all you find out the ratio of n by 2 minus Cf to f and then multiply it with h and then only you have to add it to lower limit. So L is lower limit of the median class, N is total of frequencies, Cf is cumulative frequency of class preceding to the median class, F is the frequency of median class and H is the class size. Let me explain you what is median class with the help of the problem. Here is the problem. Class intervals and frequencies are given to you. As I explained before, you have to find out the cumulative frequencies. First value as it is 5 and second value we can get by adding the first two values in frequencies, that is 20 plus 5, which is 25. Next, to get the third value of cumulative frequency, add the first three values of frequencies, that is 40 plus 20 plus 5, which is 65. In this way, find out all the values. And here in continuous series, first of all you have to find out the quantity n by 2. N is 140, 140 by 2 is 70 in this example. And 70 just greater than value you have to check in cumulative frequency column. Just greater than 70 is 115 in this column and the corresponding class is called median class. And the corresponding class is called median class here. And the lower limit of this class is 45. Class size is 15 and F is the frequency value which is 50 and Cf is cumulative frequency of preceding class of the median class, that is which is 65. Substitute all these values into the formula and after simplifying you will get the answer for median. First of all, n by 2 is 70 and Cf is 65. 70 minus 65 it is 5. Divide it with the frequency value of median class which is 50. 5 divided by 50 is 1 by 10. 1 by 10 multiply with 15. We'll get 3 by 2 which is 1.5. Add it with the lower limit of the median class which is 45. 45 plus 1.5 gives you 46.5. This is how to calculate the median in case of continuous series. Now let's move to mode. Mode is the value that appears most often in a set of data values. If x is a discrete random variable, the mode is the value of x at which the probability mass function takes the maximum value. So it is the value that is most likely to be happen. Here I gave a simple definition for it. It is often said to be that value in a series which occurs most frequently or which has the greatest frequency. But it is not exactly true for every frequency distribution. Rather, it is that value around which the items tend to concentrate most heavily. Here I gave the formula in case of continuous series, which is L plus F1 minus F0 by 2 F1 minus F0 minus F2 into H. Here, let me explain you the terms. L is lower limit, H is class size. F1 is the frequency of the model class. F0 is the frequency of the class preceding the model class. And F2 is the frequency of the class succeeding to the model class. This is the calculation of mode in case of ungrouped data. This is very simple. You have to observe which particular term is repeated more number of times in the given data. Here you can see only 15 is repeated more number of times, that is 3 times in the data, which is our mode. And next, in case of discrete series, we have two methods. One is inspection method and the second one is grouping method. Here I am going to explain both the things to you. First, let me explain. In case of inspection method, directly we have to see the highest frequency value. Here you can observe the frequencies column, and the highest value in that column is 21. The corresponding X value is your mode, which is 16. This is the inspection method, which is very easier method to calculate mode. We have one more method to find out the mode, which is grouping method. Here is the data. For this data only, now I am going to find out mode value. For grouping method, we need two tables. One is grouping table and analysis table. Grouping table consists of 6 columns. Now I am going to explain you how to find out this 6 columns step by step. First column is the same frequency column given in the table. And the second column, how to find out is adding two values of frequencies. That is, in this first column, add the first two values, that is 1, 3. 1 plus 3, which is 4, right at the center. And next to two values, 4 and 9, 13, right at the center. Next 11 and 12, 23, right at the center. Next 3 and 2, total is 5, right at the center. In this way, first you are supposed to find out the second column. Last, we have only one observation to leave it. Next, third column, leave the first value of the frequencies column and add two values, 3 and 4, which gives you 7. Next, 9 and 11, 20, and 12, 3, 15, 2 and 2, 4. Leave the first value and add two values of frequencies column to get the third column. And fourth column, 3 values you have to add. That is 1, 3, 4. First 3 values right at the center. 4, 3, 1 is 8. Next 9, 11, 12, 32. 3, 2, 2. Last 3 observations, which gives you 7. Next we have fifth column. For finding out the fifth column, leave the first value of frequencies column and add 3 values. That is 3, 4, 9, which is 16. 11 plus 12 plus 3, which is 26. Next we have only 2 observations. We need minimum 3 observations to get the fifth column values. So here we have only 2 values, so leave it. Next, sixth column, how to get is leave the first 2 values of frequencies column and add 3 values from third observation onwards. That is 4, 9, 11, 24, 12, 3, 2, 17. This is how you are supposed to find out the 6 columns. And then now comes to analysis table. In this analysis table, first as it is, you note down all the columns, and here columns X values you are supposed to take here and column values here as it is as before. And now let me explain you. First of all, highlight highest values in each column in grouping table. In this 12 is the first observation, and then 23 in the second column, 20 in the third column, 32 in the fourth column, and 26 in the fifth column, 24 in the sixth column. First, try to highlight highest values in each column of grouping table. And now, in the first column, which is the highest value? 12 is the highest value. What is the corresponding x value? 30. At that, keep a cross mark like this, as you can see in the analysis table. In the second column, 23 is the highest value. But how we got the 23? By adding 11 and 12 of the frequencies column, right? So this 11 corresponding x value is 25 and 12 corresponding x value is 30. At 25 you keep a cross mark and at 30 also you keep a cross mark. Next, in third column, highest value is 20. From where we got this 20? By adding 11 and 9, right? So 9 corresponding x value is 20 and 11 corresponding x value is 25. At the two places keep cross marks. Next, fourth column highest value is 32 and we got that 32 by adding the frequencies 9, 11 and 12. 9 corresponding x value is 20, 11 corresponding x value is 25, 12 corresponding x value is 30. At the three places you just keep cross marks. And fifth column highest value is 26 and we got this 26 by adding 11, 12 and 3. And the corresponding x values are 25, 30 and 35. At that places keep cross marks. Next, last column highest value is 24 and we got that 24 by adding 12. I think first three values, right? So 4, 9 and 11. 11, 9 and 4. And the corresponding x values are 15, 20 and 25. At that places also you just keep cross marks. Now row wise you try to add this cross marks. 15, in this corresponding row you can observe only one cross mark, so keep 1 as a total. Next, in 20 corresponding row consists of 3 cross marks, so keep 3 here. Similarly, in 25, x value 25 corresponding row is having 5 cross marks, so 5 you write down in the total. And 30 x value corresponding row is consisting of 4 cross marks, so keep 4 in the total. And last at 35, in that row you can see only 1 cross marks, write it there. And which particular total is highest here? 5. And what is the corresponding value? 25, which is our modal value. This is how to find out the mode value by using grouping method. Next we have calculation of mode in case of continuous series. Here is the data, continuous data. We have to find out first of all what is the highest frequency. Highest frequency you can observe in this data, which is 18. And the corresponding class is called modal class. Just to find out highest frequency value, that is observe highest frequency, and the corresponding class is modal class. And here this 18 is F1. As we already know the notations that F1 denotes the frequency of the modal class and F0 denotes the frequency of the class preceding to the modal class. Preceding to the modal class, the frequency value is 12, which is F0. Next, succeeding, we have F2, which is 16. And the lower limit of this modal class is 300 and the class size is 100. All the values are there with you. Just substitute in the main formula. Here 18 is the F1 value. Find out the difference of F1 from F0. That is 18 minus 12, which is 6. And 2 into 18, 36 minus 12 minus 16. Minus F0 minus F2 is the formula. So minus 12 minus 16. If you find out this, you will get 6 by 8. 6 by 8 into 100, that is 600 by 8, which gives you 75. Add it with lower limit value. of the model class. So 300 plus 75, which gives you 375. This is how to find out the mode value in case of continuous series. I hope you all understood how to calculate the mode value in different series of data. That's the end of my presentation. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you so much.